Once again, this is Stephen Lewis Cohn, and I hope you get a chance to listen to my work. I've been doing some wonderful work with Doc Holliday. We have a record that's going to be coming out called Spokenash. We did enter a recording that we did called Reference rather, that was entered into the Grammys and got onto the ballot. We'll see what's going to happen. And I have a huge catalog of work on many independent labels out of Europe and the Americas, with many of the modern improvisers from New York City and Chicago and Europe and so forth and so on. So I hope you get a chance to check me out. And we want to get out there and perform for huge audiences and really let them hear some music. So thank you so much. Pianist. I also play a Japanese flute called the shakuhachi. It's a piece of bamboo, vertical piece of bamboo. Has a strong Japanese traditional background. I approach it a little bit more as a jazz musician, a modern improviser, I like to say. I've played all over the world: Europe, Japan, Canada, Chicago, Boston, New York, San Francisco. I was born in San Francisco back in 1952. Came up during the 60s as a teenager, listening to Santana, Johnny Mayhall, eventually heard Mose Allison, Les McCann. I didn't get into jazz really until I was about 24, 25, and I went to school at San Francisco State University. I was a classical piano major, and I also, started getting into jazz. I took some classes with John Handy, alto saxophonist. He's in the Montreux Jazz Festival, or Monterey Jazz Festival. By the time I got deeper into the music and developing my ideas about music, there were so many influences going on. You had Miles Davis's Pitches Brew, which I think by that point you were really just already dealing with the fusion of rock and roll. And then a lot of elements in the music were bringing in tablas and Ravi Shankar with the sitars and Japanese ideas, African music, all kinds of things were interspersing. So the way today the world is a global world. And I think because of that when we used to have these small little pots of culture, like American culture, or Japanese culture, or a European culture, or a Balinesian culture, today we have such a fusing that we have a kind of world culture. And because it's so expansive at this point, it's going to take a while before there's going to be very distinct schools that you could identify and say, okay, well, this is jazz, and this is classical, and this is rock. I think it's going to be a while before you can... there's a lot of words they use to try to sell music. Indie, or whatever they might use to try to sell music, to categorize it. So, to answer your question, I think I see the jazz as an influential force. I came through the blues and I went deep into jazz and into modern 20th century music and heard Japanese and African and lots of other types of things. So in the work that I do, I'm definitely linked to improvisation. That is the one thing that as a composer, I really like to work with improvisation. I'm very comfortable in that world. I don't mind writing. I like to write too, but I like this improvisational world.